All right, let's talk about getting full marks on your IGCSE English essay. You know, it's not really about luck, is it? It's all about having the right strategy. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down the exact formula you need to take your writing from pretty good to a perfect top marks score. Ready? Let's dive in.
So this is the magic number, 15. That's our target. We're not just aiming for a pass here, we're aiming for mastery, 15 out of 15. If you stick with me, I'm going to show you exactly how the examiners think and how they award every single one of those marks.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the full marks challenge. Then, we'll dissect the anatomy of a great essay, and most importantly, crack the mark scheme. After that, we'll look at a real example, going from good to great, and finally, I'll give you a complete toolkit to help you nail it yourself.
All right, Section 1, the full marks challenge. So, what does a top-scoring essay actually require? Well, the real challenge here is a mindset shift. You've got to stop seeing this as just another writing task and start seeing it for what it is, a strategic test of some very specific skills.
So, at its heart, what even is this essay? Well, it's a formal or neutral piece of writing where you present a clear argument, and you've got to support it with examples and reasons. Now, the key words to lock onto here are formal or neutral, and supported. Seriously, this isn't a text to your friend or an informal email. Your tone and the evidence you use are absolutely critical right from that very first sentence.
Okay, next up, the anatomy of an essay. This is basically the blueprint, the essential structure you need for success. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter what the topic is, this fundamental structure is always the same. And honestly, it's pretty non-negotiable if you're chasing those top marks.
And here it is, the classic three-part structure. You've probably seen this before, but it's what examiners are literally trained to look for. First, your introduction. This has to hook the reader and state your topic. Next, the main body. This is where you present and really develop your arguments. Finally, the conclusion, where you wrap it all up, summarize your points, and give a final punchy opinion. If you can master this flow, you are already halfway to a great score. Seriously.
Okay, now this is where we get into the real strategy, cracking the mark scheme. Because to get full marks, you can't just write a good essay. You have to write an essay for the person who is marking it. So let's pull back the curtain and see what they're truly looking for.
Pay attention here, because this might be the single most important thing you learn today. Look at this breakdown. A massive 60% of your total score comes from language. Not content, language. Let that sink in. Your absolutely brilliant, world-changing ideas are only worth 40% of the grade if you can't express them with skill and precision.
So let's really break this down. On one side, you've got content. That's what you say. Are you answering the question? Are your ideas relevant? Are they detailed? That's 6 marks. But on the other side, the bigger piece of the pie is language. This is all about how you say it, your vocabulary, your sentence structures, your spelling and punctuation, and the overall flow. Believe me, the battle for a perfect 15 is fought and won right here in the language category.
Okay, theory is great, but let's get practical. Let's see how this all plays out in a real, actual exam script. We're going to do a little case study here, looking at an essay that scored pretty well, but not perfectly. And we're going to pinpoint exactly where those extra crucial marks were lost and how you can get them.
And here are the results. Now, look at this. This candidate absolutely nailed the content. A perfect 6 out of 6 that clearly answered the question. Their ideas were well developed. Awesome. But look at the language score. 6 out of 9. Ouch. They left three crucial marks just sitting there on the table.
So this is the big question, right? What was the difference? What separated this solid 12 from a perfect 15? Well, the answer? The entire difference comes down to the small, specific details of their language.
Let's zoom in, microscope style, on a single sentence from their essay. It says, fast food contains fat, sugar, and salt, all things that are bad for you and make you gain weight and becoming ill. Now, on the surface, this seems totally fine, right? The idea is clear, it's relevant, it works. But believe it or not, this one sentence is a perfect example of why they didn't get full marks for language.
And here's why, straight from the examiner's feedback. First, the vocabulary is just too common. Bad for you? It works, but it's not impressive. Something like detrimental would be way more sophisticated. Then there's a little grammatical slip-up. Becoming ill should be become ill. And finally, the sentence structure itself is just
Kind of basic. It's these tiny, seemingly small details that add up and keep an essay from hitting that top-tier language score.
So here's the key takeaway, the thing I really want you to remember. Fulfilling the task just isn't enough. You can have perfect content, you can answer the question flawlessly, but if your language doesn't have that sophistication, you simply will not get full marks. The examiners are looking for range and accuracy, not just, basic communication.
Okay, enough about the problem. Let's talk solutions. This next part is all about building your essay writing toolkit. I'm going to give you the actual language, the specific structures you can use to level up your writing and grab those final crucial marks.
I absolutely love this analogy. It just makes everything click. Think about it like dressing for a big event. First, accuracy. Your grammar and spelling, that's just having clean and correct clothes. It's the absolute bare minimum, right? But then you have range, your awesome vocabulary and complex sentences. That's like picking out a really stylish, impressive outfit. That's what gets you noticed. And finally, organization, your linking words. These are the coordinated accessories that tie the whole look together. To get full marks, you can't just have clean clothes. You need the stylish outfit and the accessories too. You need all three.
So, here's a super practical tool. Formal sentence starters. This is one of the easiest ways to instantly make your writing sound more sophisticated. I mean, just swapping out a simple "I think" for something like, "It is generally agreed that," bam! You've immediately signaled a more academic style and you're showing the examiner your linguistic range. Keep a list of these handy.
All right, now for a quick rundown of what not to do. These are the common traps that students fall into all the time. First, please, don't just list your points with firstly, secondly, thirdly. It's so basic. Second, never, ever copy the prompts or comments directly from the exam paper. Always use your own words. Third, don't just throw a bunch of ideas out there. It's much better to have a few ideas that you develop really well. And finally, remember, this is a formal essay, not a chatty email. Keep the tone right.
So let's put it all together. Here is your simple 4-step path to that perfect 15. First, you plan. Brainstorm your ideas, get that structure down. Second, you draft. And while you're writing, you're actively using those formal starters and trying out complex sentences. Third, and please don't skip this, you check. You proofread for all those little accuracy errors. You do those 3 things consistently, and the 4th step, succeed, is pretty much guaranteed.
So there you have it. The formula for a full marks essay is now officially in your hands. See, it's not some big mystery. It's just a specific set of skills that you can totally learn and apply. So really, the only question left is, which essay topic are